Merced County's news voice since 1936. News Talk 1480, KYOS, Merced.
You're listening to Radio Merced. I'm Jacque MacDonald, and welcome to The Victim's Voice. And today we have our regular guest on, Public Information Officer Delray Shelton from the Sheriff's Department. And welcome. And I know you're tired.
No,
because
thank
you've
you
been
for having
working.
I'm good to go. I'm always excited to be here to chit chat with you.
Thank you. You're a very polite, nice young man.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'll pay you when we get outside.
Mortgage is due, so.
Yeah, you've got a bigger house than we have. Anyway, so today's subject is there've been a lot of shootings recently here. You know, Merced is no longer Merced, is it? I came here in the 60s with my late former husband. He was former before he was late. But it was a lovely little bedroom community, really.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, to answer your question, that's very true. We have been having a lot of shootings and incidents that have transpired over the last several weeks. But first and foremost, I'd like to reiterate this, and this is for the world to hear, and especially the people in Merced County to know that we have not lost the war on crime. No. And that people still can continue to live, continue to work, and rest assured that when they call Merced County Sheriff's Office, we're coming. And we will exhaust whatever personal resources we have to help rectify and remedy any situation and to stand in the gap on your behalf. And so people need to continue to trust us and take comfort in knowing that. I know it's kind of hard, especially when all the incidents have transpired and the shootings and the unfortunate deaths of many young people. Yeah. But people have to know, and they should know, that they still can live in peace and comfort. And in the back of their mind, they can always know that they can call on us. You know, Sheriff Payson is very adamant about combating crime, gang violence, drug issues. And I can tell you, working directly with him, is that he's always thinking of new and innovative ways and programs and resources and various things to be able to spearhead those problems and issues head on. And people should know and understand and take comfort in that fact, that it's a no holds bar when it comes to combating crime. And we will take the fight to the people that are creating ruckus within our community, to create discord and people to be uncomfortable in where they pay to reside. Yeah.
Because even every gang member that gets killed is somebody's son.
Absolutely. And it's unfortunate. You know, we talk about gang problems. And, you know, it's for many reasons why people are involved in gangs. You know, because I'm kind of an outsider looking in, even though throughout the span of my career, I've had the opportunity to work in a special unit that combated gangs, that combated, high-risk fugitives and various other assignments, being the STAR team. But I'm still an outsider looking in. So I say that, meaning I don't understand why people would choose to be in such an organization. But again, I'm an outsider looking in. I don't know the reason why, if it was a broken home, lack of foundation, lack of education, wanted to feel a part of. For a whole host of reasons, they could be involved. But their commitment, everything that they're pouring into the gang life, always comes back void. It's in vain. Nothing ever good comes out of it. And that's what I tell people on the streets all the time. And they'll agree with me, and then they'll go on and continue to live their life. But they're sowing a seed that's going to reap a bad harvest. And so it's our responsibility as parents, especially, to continue to reiterate a firm foundation in lives, great structure, and to actually be engaged in our kids' lives. Know what they're doing. I tell parents all the time that, we all say never, our kid would never do this, and our kid doesn't do that. But at the end of the day, it's most of those kids that are the ones that are caught up in, in these lifestyles. And so we have to be very careful to know who we have sleeping in our back bedrooms, and be very active in their lives so we know what's going on. As soon as an issue arises, they can spearhead that head on to try to, redirect behavior. And so, it's unfortunate that the gang problem has grown to what it has grown to, but we all are still actively, and I say we all, the sheriff's office and other law enforcement entities, are all still very active in combating gang violence.
Because I remember years ago, my former husband was from Brooklyn, my former late husband, and he said whenever there was problems, the Catholic priest would put them in the boxing ring and actually beat the hell out of, I shouldn't say H-E-L-L, but the priests were the ones that always won.
Yeah. It's definitely unfortunate. It's definitely unfortunate that it has come, but we definitely are dealing with the problems, and absolutely.
You can do the best you can, but people want to have to change.
Absolutely. It starts from within. I do concur.
Yes.
I do. It does start from within.
Okay.
And hopefully, with positive role models in I guess in the profession, in law enforcement, and also just throughout the communities, hopefully, just by the lifestyles that we lead, we definitely can show that there is a different way to go, a different path to walk. And it's not always easy, but the seed that you'll sow living a righteous life will always prevail much more than the seed you sow living in a drug addictive lifestyle and a gang lifestyle.
Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I was told once that people belong to gangs because it's family. It's like a family.
Mm-hmm. I do hear that. I do hear that often. And, I remember working the streets when I was a patrol officer. And, it's very often that you come in contact with people from all walks of lives. And for the sake of conversation, we're referencing gangs, but we run into people that are gang affiliated often. And, I always was interested in knowing how and why they chose that lifestyle. So we would conduct business as usual, and that, I'd do my job and whatever the outcome was. But I'd always ask them, tell me how you got involved in this, at what age and why. More times than not, the answer was for the family ship. And so it just leads back to how people want to feel wanted in life. They want to feel a part of. That's why we look for relationships and friendships and networking and things in general, because as humans, we have that want and that need. And that's where most of it comes from. They think that it's a good feeling in life, but they find out very quick that the bad choice they make to merge in a family of crime. But see, they're so caught up in it and they're so bound by it, they linger and linger for many years, and sometimes people's whole lifestyles. And what they've sown, unfortunately, they have to try to pick up the pieces of life and merge it back together their whole life in order to get out of something like that.
And being the mother of a child that was murdered, that wasn't in a gang, that wasn't on drugs, wasn't on anything, was just in a house that somebody chose to break into. I feel for their mothers.
Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate. I've said this before, and I'll continue to say that people have to understand that the choices they make not only affect them, but affect many people. And people, again, try to put the pieces of the puzzle back together in life, or try to remerge the shattered glass. And it takes their whole life to be able to do it. And at the end of it, it still doesn't merge.
No.
And so people have to understand that it's imperative, it's necessary, it's a must, it's needed. Whatever you want to, whatever word you want to say, you have to make wise decisions. You have to think it out. When in doubt, think it out.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it absolutely has to be. You have to. And I know it's so hard because a lot of times you have to make impulsive decisions in this life. A lot of times you have to be very ready and quick on your toes. But when at all possible, people need to think of the good and bad, weigh the options, the pros and cons, or whatever they're going to do or say. You know, a lot of times people do things and they didn't mean any harm by it or want to hurt somebody, but it does. And you think, man, if they just would have thought that out, that wouldn't have been. See, I've never known anybody that's able to take back something they've said.
You can't. And people don't forget, even though
Absolutely
they say, I forgive you, but they don't forget.
I've never known someone to shoot somebody or break somebody's bones or to harm somebody physically and be able to take the pain back of what it's caused them or be able to mend that. And so people have to understand that it's imperative that you live a life of righteousness. You know, I remember growing up, my parents used to say, the righteous is never forsaken. They hit low valleys, and sometimes they have to crawl, but they always are risen up, and they always land on their own 2 feet. And so it's, again, we have to be very active, especially in the youth of our community, in their lives, and pouring into them, and be sure that there's correction and open rebuke, and we reiterate love, and hopefully that'll kind of curve behavior and thought processes, so people don't grow up to make not so good decisions. You know, we see more and more and more of our young people involved in the gang lifestyles, involved in the drug lifestyles, in and out of trouble. And you think, man, they're just 14 or 15 and they're committing drive-by shootings and all this. And it's unfortunate. So that's why it's so important that we are very active in our kids' lives. You've heard, this is no secret, you've heard in the newspaper and on the news probably in the last several months of how many kids under 18 that have fallen victim to gun violence subsequent of gang and drug lifestyles.
It's frightening.
It is. It's unfortunate.
Yes.
It is very unfortunate. And so, but at the end of the day, rest assured that we still have a very competent, high-skilled, trained force of men and women that are living out their calling, and they've committed their lives to this profession and everything they have. And our track record will show, especially for the sheriff's office, that our product is good and we produce, and we'll continue to do that.
Well, it's common knowledge how much I like and respect Mark Payson.
Very good man. I enjoy working for him. Very good man.
He's a kick too. I mean, he can be funny.
Very funny. Very funny. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we still have some minutes left, so on to the next subject.
Absolutely. So we actually still want to emphasize the Everbridge program, and that is the new program that's been implemented by Merced County. It's actually a joint effort between all the emergency services entities throughout the county, and they can go online and they can just type in Everbridge, and they'll be able to be taken to the link, and they can register their information. And basically the program is an informations program. So if something transpires that's catastrophic or just something basic that's going on in the community or their neighborhood, they'll be able to be notified real time of what's going on. So in this way, people are able to plan, people are aware of what's going on, people, are able to react accordingly. And so it's a great system. People haven't signed up. It's imperative that they do. We next week, starting Wednesday, I believe the 12th, will be the Merced County Fair, and we'll all be out at the fair, and we'll all be giving out information regarding the Everbridge program and getting people signed up and taken care of. And then also we'll have a public relations booth out there, and it'll be located next to the main entrance off of Martin Luther King, just inside the gate. Come by, say hello to us. I myself will be out there. And then we'll have some other members of our departments. So it'll be exciting. Please come by and say hello, grab some goodies for the kids. We have lots of goodies to give away. Each day this year, we're doing a little something different. We'll be emphasizing one of our special assignment teams. So Thursday will be our tactical support unit. So we'll have our robot out there, and we will have a lot of our gear that is utilized in the support of all of our major teams. We'll have one of our motors out there, our motorcycles. And then on Friday, we'll have our dive team out there. So you'll be able to come and have a little meet and greet with some of our dive team members and be able to take a look at some of their gear that they utilize. Saturday will be our SWAT team. So we'll have some SWAT team members out there. We'll have our Bearcat armored vehicle out there. We'll have a display table with a lot of the equipment that the SWAT guys utilize in their missions. And then on Sunday, we'll conclude the fair by having our K9 division out there.
Oh,
and so we'll have some of our dual purpose, our apprehension and narcotic detection dogs out there, as well as our single purpose dogs out there and their handlers. So come by and say hello to the dogs and to all of us. Again, grab some goodies for the kids. And so we're definitely excited for this year's fair, and we're definitely geared up. Bring your camera. We'll have an opportunity for photo ops with everyone, and we're just there to help support the fair and have a good time.
Be fun. And I love the dogs because my late daughter, her husband was a dog man.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, he was in the sheriff's department.
Awesome.
Yeah, David Schroeder.
Cool.
And sadly, David died too. He's very young. I don't know what happened. Watching TV with his daddy, walked across the room and collapsed.
Oh, that's so sad to hear. I'm sorry
Isn't
to hear
it? That happens sometimes. But he used to train the dogs in German.
Oh.
I know. But I love animals, as you know.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's what I'd want to see, the dogs.
Yes, so they will be out there on set. We will also have one of our brand new sports utility vehicles, SUVs, out there for people to climb through and look at and see the latest and the greatest of everything that we have been able to acquire to help serve the men and women of Merced County better.
Yeah. And that's fun, isn't it? It's fun for the kids.
Yes, the
but
kids
no
love
suckers
it.
when you go through it.
Yes.
Leave your candy outside.
Yes, absolutely. The kids love it.
No.
So,
and what will you be doing?
I will be there at the PR booth. So I'll be there helping market the sheriff's office, and I'll be roaming around the fair and for general security. And actually, all of our other deputies, all the other men and women who work for our department will also be out there at the fair to help ensure that it's a safe environment for families to come to and enjoy. So
Now-
we'll all be out there.
Now, is there a certain time that you guys are going to be there? I want to go on Sunday, but is there a certain time?
Yes, you can. We will be there from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. every day for the PR booth, and then the deputies will be there from open to close.
The dogs.
The dogs are 4 to 9 on Sunday.
4 to 9, 4 o'clock in
Absolutely.
the afternoon, yeah. Well, I want to thank you. Look at that. Our time's just about up, and so. But thank you for coming in. I
Thank
know
you
you've
for
been
having me.
No, you've been so busy and working so hard.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm grateful that you're with us, and I'm sure the rest of Merced is grateful that we have you.
Thank you.
And I have to mention that the police officers' memorial was the first time I've ever been, and it was the most wonderful, heartwarming experience. Makes you want to cry.
It. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. I know how hard you worked.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening, and may you never walk in our footsteps.
Merced County's news voice since 1936. News Talk 1480, KYOS, Merced.